single day. I'm gonna make something great.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Hope Base, a place where we share stories of people who have survived one form of abuse or another in order to encourage those who are going through similar situations to find hope and strength to overcome their challenges. We want to especially thank those who have sent in their stories so far. It means a lot to us. If you're an abuse survivor and you want to share your story with us, feel free to write in. Our email address is thehopebase@gmail.com. And if you can't write your story, you can send in a voice note. I'll leave a link below where you can send in your voice notes. My name is Oise God Center Balde. Before we go into the story for today, let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Today we have a story from Daniel. Daniel wrote in from Twickenham. Let's dive right in. My name is Daniel from Twickenham. I met Anna in a bus while going to work. She sat next to me in the bus. The moment I saw her, I just liked her. She had everything I needed in a woman, physically speaking. I started thinking of how to strike off a conversation with her. It was no easy task, being that I'm a very shy person and my self-esteem was at the very bottom. I suffered sexual abuse as a child and that affected my self-worth adversely. I never told anyone about it, and as a result, I became very secretive. I was very good at bottling up things, especially my emotions. Whilst in the bus, I was reading a book, Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. My mom had given me the book as my birthday gift. I guess she sensed I needed to learn how to communicate better with people. Anna saw the book and said, "Nice book." I was quite relieved that she was the first person to talk to me. That was how it all began. I asked her if she read it and she said 3 times. "Then you must be really good at studying people," I said. "Very good at studying people," she replied. She went on to say that she observed that I have been trying to talk to her ever since she got into the bus, but that I was too shy to do that. I was flabbergasted. I asked her how she knew that and she said, "My body movement said it all." "Are you a psychologist?" I asked. Just as she was about to give me a reply, the bus pulled over at her bus stop. As she stood up to leave, she gave me her business card and said, "Call me whenever you can." I was excited. Her card revealed that she was working at a big supermarket as the store manager. It's obvious that she was making a decent amount of money. Immediately, I felt intimidated. I was working at a gas station at the time, and my salary was quite small compared to what she could probably be earning as a store manager. After days of contemplating on whether to call or not, I eventually put a call through to her. After reminding her of where we met, she said she thought I would never call. I asked her why she thought so, and she said nothing really. After some talks over the phone, we agreed to meet over the weekend. She wanted to come over to my place, but I objected to that, reason being that I was still living with my mom. I suggested a restaurant and she agreed. We met and had some nice time and talked for a few hours about many things. She told me how she dated a guy that she gave practically everything and even paid his bills, and the guy eventually dumped her. Ever since, she vowed never to date someone who cannot take care of her. I liked the fact that she was open. She never hesitated to express how she felt about anything. On the other hand, I knew that I needed to work harder if I would ever have a future with her. I started thinking of businesses I can do. I liked her so much and I sincerely wanted to take care of her. What I earned working at the gas station hardly pays my bills, talk more of taking care of someone else. I thought about the things I was passionate about. I liked shoes and have always thought of starting a shoe company, but I never knew how to go about it. When I told Anna that I'm thinking of starting a shoe line, she was thrilled at the idea. Instantly, she introduced me to someone she thinks can help with designs. All I needed to do was to just tell him my ideas and he would design them. I also knew I needed some loan. I didn't have enough capital for the materials and the space. My mom helped me and I secured some loan. In a space of 6 months, I was already in business. Marketing was another challenge, but Anna helped with that. She was so helpful. Within a year and a half, business became so good that I employed some staff and rented a decent apartment. Anna would always come to my house and stay some weekends until she eventually moved in with me. We were so happy together. She started thinking of quitting her job and joining me full-time to handle the marketing division of my company. I objected to that. I advised her to still keep her job, that she can quit as soon as we get married. She liked the idea. However, for some reasons, my mom wasn't comfortable with Anna. She kept telling me that Anna was materialistic, that she is not prudent at all. Anna liked the high life. I don't blame her. That was how she was brought up. She only feels comfortable when she wears expensive things. I told my mom that she can't expect everyone to behave and act the same way. My mom then told me that she hopes that she will still love me when the chips are down. I told her that the chips will never be down, that we can only get better from here on. I understood what my mom was saying. I just loved Anna too much to even see her flaws. Months later, we started planning our wedding. We had constant arguments during this time because I wanted something small, but Anna wanted a societal wedding, and societal weddings in London are no jokes monetarily. When we calculated all that it would take for the wedding, everything came to about £50,000. Spending that kind of amount would affect my business adversely. Then I told Anna that if she insists on a huge wedding, that we should postpone the wedding, that I needed more time to raise the money so that it does not affect my business. She got so mad and started pouring insults on me. I had never seen her that way before. She said I was stylishly calling off the wedding. I told her that I would never call off the wedding, that I needed more time. I asked her if she would prefer if we go bankrupt after the wedding, and she became quiet. Everything my mom said started to make sense to me, but I still wanted to marry her. I loved her so much. Let's do a quick commercial break here, and when we come back, we'll continue the story. In a bid to make more money to meet up with the wedding demands, I knew I needed more products to meet up with demands. So I got some loan from the bank for some materials I needed to order from India. Unfortunately, I was duped by the supposed company in India that I have been dealing with. It was the worst day of my life. Attempts to retrieve the monies proved abortive. I was in so much debt that I had to sell my car to pay some of the debts. Anna made no attempt to help with the debt. Rather, she blamed me for being careless. Months passed and the wedding couldn't hold because there was no money. I couldn't recover from the debt that I was in. That was when Anna started showing her true color. She would go to work and come back late. Sometimes she would not even come back at all. When I asked her where she is, she would tell me to stop monitoring her movement. I was struggling to stay afloat. And instead of Anna to help see how we would rise above the challenges together, she left me to handle everything all by myself. Calls would come into her phone and she would excuse herself and go into the room to pick her calls. I found it difficult to express how I felt about everything, and it was killing me on the inside. One day I told her that she has changed, that I thought we were supposed to stick together through thick and thin. And she said that that's the reason she has not left me, that I am a man and I should figure out a way to get out of the mess I created. Things were getting out of hand and I couldn't take it anymore. Anna was having affairs with other men under my nose and was still living in my house. Anytime I confronted her with it, she would scream at me and pour all manner of insults on me. It was then it dawned on me that Anna never loved me. I thanked God for the storm because I wouldn't have known her true color. I started thinking of how to call off whatever it was we shared together, but it was not easy. I feared what her reaction would be. To be honest, there were times I felt the urge to hit her. That was when I knew that it was best to let her go before things get out of hand. I have always promised myself that nothing in this world will ever make me raise my hand on a woman. Eventually, I summoned up courage and told her that we were not compatible and that I would not continue with the plans to get married. Unexpectedly, she knelt down and begged me not to kick her out. She cried and held my leg. I couldn't stand to see a woman cry. I didn't know what to do. Then I asked her about those men she was constantly messaging and talking to over the phone. She said she has no emotional attraction to them, that she was only collecting their money and nothing more, and that she will stop chatting with them if I'm not comfortable with it. I was weak. I didn't know if to insist on calling it off or to just patch things up. I chose the latter and she started showing more concerns, which didn't last. One day she came and told me she was pregnant and that we needed to get married before the pregnancy becomes obvious, and that she doesn't want to get out of shape so she can fit into the wedding dress. I was happy to hear that she was pregnant, but I didn't like that she was mounting pressure on me. I told her that if she's worried about getting out of shape, that we can get married after she has given birth. She agreed. 2 months later, a friend of hers came visiting, and when I told her that we were expecting a baby, she was shocked. She eventually put on a fake smile and congratulated Anna, but I knew deep down that something was not adding up. Later that day, I eavesdropped on their discussion. They were whispering in the bedroom, but I still heard them. Anna's friend was telling her why she was lying to me about being pregnant, that she remembered that they were together when her womb was removed. I was shocked. I was wondering why Anna would lie to me about being pregnant and why she never told me she had no womb. Why would anyone even conceal a thing like that? That I have a doctor that would examine her, that I want our baby to be very healthy. She agreed, but the day we planned to go, she lied that her mom was sick and left the house. That day she never came back. The next day she called to tell me that she had lost her baby, crying. I yelled at her to cut the drama and stop lying. I was so pissed that I told her that I know the truth and that I knew she would come up with that lie. This time around, I told her that it was over and I meant it. Anna was out of my life for good. It was a huge relief. I lost my office space and started working from home. I lost a lot of customers because I couldn't meet up with demands. I started going for counseling because of the abuse I suffered as a child. It was during the counseling that I also realized that Anna abused me emotionally. She knew my weak points and used it to her advantage. I have come a long way in building my self-esteem. This has also helped me in my relationships and business. I have also come to realize that we need more than love in choosing a life partner. Don't be blinded by love. Compatibility is key. Some disappointments are blessings. If I had not been duped, I would have probably ended up with Anna, and it would have been hell because I probably wouldn't have known her true color. I hope this inspires someone. If you have been touched by this story, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And if you know someone that seriously needs to see this, don't hesitate to share it with them. You might save a soul when you do that. If you are an abuse survivor and you want to share your story with us, feel free to write in. Our email address once again is thehopebase@gmail.com. And in case you cannot write, you can always send a voice note. Don't forget, as long as you have breath in your nostrils, you have hope. Till I come your way again next week, my name is Oyise God Center Body. Have a beautiful day.